Tonight, it's not just any ball game, it's the best of the best, squaring off under the lights at Truist Park, rookie flamethrowers, MVP heavyweights, and some eyebrow-raising betting splits that might just tilt the edge. Let's break down the 2025 MLB All-Star Game and make sure you're on the right side of history. Welcome back to Split Labs, the sharpest name in sports betting data. If you live for the numbers behind the narrative, hit that like, smash subscribe, and let's dive into the biggest showcase of the summer. The 2025 MLB All-Star Game kicks off tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, live from Truist Park in Atlanta, home of the Braves. This is the 95th edition of the Midsummer Classic, and it's lining up to be one of the most unpredictable in years. Starting on the bump for the American League is Tarik Skubal from the Tigers, one of the most underrated arms in baseball, but he'll only pitch the first inning. Meanwhile, Paul Skenes makes history for the National League. At just 23, he becomes the youngest pitcher to start back-to-back All-Star games. That's insane. Let's talk star power. AL lineup highlights. Gleyber Torres is leading off. Riley Green, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. follow. It's a solid mix of power and contact, and Cal Raleigh quietly leads the AL in home runs. NL lineup stacked. Shohei Ohtani leading off, Acuna Jr., Marte, Freddie Freeman, Manny Machado, Will Smith. This is borderline unfair. But here's the twist. Pitchers will mostly go one inning. That means it's not about rotations. It's about matchup chaos. Offenses will have opportunities, especially in the middle innings, once the fireballers are out. Let's get into what matters most, the money moves. NL for the money line market. NL is a slight favorite around -116. AL sits near -102. But here's the kicker. Since 1997, the American League is 22-4-1 in All-Star games. That's not a trend, that's a dynasty. For the run line and public/sharp splits, most public money is leaning toward the NL, but early sharp action came in on the AL, especially as a pick'em. Watch for line movement closer to first pitch. The total is set at 7 runs. Historically, All-Star games have leaned under, but with lineups this deep and pitchers getting yanked early, the over is live. 60% of bets and money are already on the over. If you see a slow first inning, live bet over 6.5 or even 5.5 at plus money could be a killer spot. All right, let's shift gears into some player props for tonight's All-Star Game. Because, yeah, the full game lines are cool, but the real value sometimes lives in these micro bets.
Real quick, if you're into breakdowns like this, you'll love what we've got going on at splitlabs.net. We track public betting splits across every sport. NBA, MLB, NFL, you name it. Plus matchup insights, team rankings, and even prop predictors to help you spot edges before the lines move. This isn't just picks. It's the same data the books are using to set prices, and we make it easy to read and actually use. You can try it free for 7 days, and if you like it, use code YouTube for 50% off your first month. No BS, no sportsbook affiliation, just clean, transparent data for smarter betting. All right, back to the breakdown.
First inning strikeouts. Both starters. Let's start with the first inning K props. This one might get overlooked, but hear me out. Both Tarik Skubal and Paul Skenes have absolutely electric stuff, and they're both likely to face the top of the order, which sounds scary, but it's also the first at-bats of the night for everyone. Guys are still settling in, timing might be off, and adrenaline is sky high. Skubal comes in with a 2.45 ERA and an 11.1 K9 for the Tigers. Quietly one of the nastiest arms in the league this season. Skenes? You've probably seen the viral clips. Dude hits 100 with movement, and his slider is already MLB ready at 23. He's averaging 10 plus Ks per 9 and has the poise of a vet. 2 plus Ks in the first inning, it's very live. These are statement innings. They're not pacing themselves. They're going all out for 15 pitches, and both have something to prove on this stage. Anytime home run. Cal Raleigh, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. Now let's talk dingers. The anytime home run market is juicy in games like this, especially with hitters facing one-and-done relievers. Cal Raleigh is one of the most slept-on power bats in the league. He's leading the AL in home runs and isn't afraid to ambush fastballs. And let's not forget, he's a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter who's on the mound. Lefty, righty, submarine alien, Raleigh can go yard. Then you've got Shohei Ohtani, who really doesn't need an explanation. He's hitting 320 plus this season, leads the majors in barrel rate, and you just know he's going to try to put one into orbit in front of this kind of audience, especially back in the NL lineup for the first time in an all-star setting. And here's your sneaky value. Freddie Freeman. He's playing in his home park at Truist, which means he knows the batter's eye, the angles, the wind patterns. You give him a middle cutter from some poor rookie in the 6th inning, that ball is gone. If you're looking to get wild, I'd even consider a same-game combo. Ohtani to record a hit, Freeman to go deep, Skubal to record a K. The value on those builds can be insane if you catch it early.
All right, let's talk storylines, because this isn't just about stars and stats. These are the kinds of things that shape the rhythm of the game, and they matter, especially if you're betting props or just trying to make sense of in-game momentum. Jacob Misiorowski, the wild card. First up, Jacob Misiorowski. This kid has made just 5 MLB starts for the Brewers, and now he's on an all-star roster? Wild. He's got a 2.81 ERA, and he regularly touches 101 mile per hour. Insane stuff. But here's why you should care. If he pitches the 6th or 7th, it's going to be a moment. One of two things is happening. He's either striking out 2 guys in jaw-dropping fashion, or giving up a nuke because nerves and adrenaline get the best of him. Why it matters. He's a potential turning point in the game. Live bettors watch for his inning. You might get a spike in scoring, or a surprise wow moment that flips MVP odds. Randy Arozarena, the sleeper MVP. Next up, Randy Arozarena. He wasn't even supposed to be here. He replaced Julio Rodriguez after J-Rod opted to rest. But Randy's not the kind of guy who shows up and blends in. He's got speed, swag, and serious pop. And if you've followed him since the 2020 postseason, you know he lives for the spotlight. Why it matters? Long shot MVP pick. He could hit a homer, steal a base, throw a guy out, all in one night. And in a game where everyone gets just a few innings, that's exactly the kind of flash that voters remember. Clayton Kershaw, the legend pick. And then there's Clayton Kershaw, who was named a commissioner's legend pick, his 11th All-Star nod. He might toss one inning tonight just for the vibes, and don't get me wrong, it's a great send-off if this is his final year. But from a betting perspective, why it matters. Don't overthink it. It's a sentimental inclusion, not a strategic one. You're not getting Kershaw in his prime. You're getting one soft inning, max. No props, no edges, just respect. These aren't just fun facts, they're leverage points. Knowing when nerves might kick in, who thrives in chaos, and who's just here for the curtain call, that gives you a real edge, especially if you're betting live, targeting MVPs, or watching player props. Here's the official Split Labs read. Lean. American League ML. Long track record. Slight edge in top-end bullpen arms, and they're being disrespected by public sentiment. Total, over 7. You've got 2 of the most explosive lineups ever assembled. With relievers pitching unfamiliar innings, timing can be off defensively. Expect a couple fluky runs. MVP dark horses. Ohtani if NL wins. Judge if AL wins. Misiorowski as a total wild card if he fans 2-3 in a big inning. And that's your full breakdown of the 2025 MLB All-Star Game. Who are you backing tonight? AL or NL? Over or under? Drop your picks in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and head over to splitlabs.net for real-time betting splits and prop tools that actually work. Enjoy the Midsummer Classic. Let's cash something tonight.